Good evening. You're watching this special edition of Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, the battle for Bihar is over. Who is winning and who has more at stake, Narendra Modi or Nitish Kumar? That's what we're going to talk about in the next 60 minutes. The people of Bihar have spoken. They have decided. It has been a bitterly and hard-fought election campaign over 5 phases. In this campaign for 243 seats in the Bihar Assembly, but an election that no doubt has repercussions that are far beyond Bihar. Well, as many of you may have already been watching, other news channels tonight and various polling agencies have already started putting out exit polls. They've put out preliminary numbers and they'll be putting out final numbers shortly. So we're going to give you a poll of polls in just a minute from now. But just to remind you that NDTV's exit poll will be on air with Pranoy Roy tomorrow night from 8 to 10 p.m. So let's look at what the poll of exit polls says until now at 8 p.m. on this Thursday night. Well, it basically predicts a neck-and-neck battle. Who is going to win this election? Frankly, nobody knows. Because if you look at the poll of polls, the JDU and the RJD, 118 seats. The halfway mark is 122. The BJP plus, that's the NDA, 117. So that shows you what kind of a neck-and-neck battle it is. But let's take a look at the individual exit polls as well, because they also tell a rather fascinating story. And one of the exit polls that has been very, very keenly watched is that of today's Chanakya, which of course famously got the Lok Sabha election right, as well as other polls after that. And today's Chanakya has stuck its neck out, giving the NDA a clean sweep of Bihar at 155 seats and only 83 for the Mahagathbandhan. So today's Chanakya poll actually differs completely from the other exit polls that we're seeing on air tonight. What do the others say? There is the ABP News Nielsen exit polls that has given a clear majority to Nitish Kumar's alliance at 130 seats versus 108 for the NDA. The NewsX CNX exit poll has given 132 to the Mahagathbandhan and 93 to the NDA. The News Nation exit poll, 122 to the JDU and RJD and their allies and 117 to the NDA. So that's a much closer poll. The India Today Cicero exit poll also shows a very close race, giving a slight edge to the NDA at 120 for the NDA, 117 for the JDU and the RJD. And the India TV C voter poll is out as well, also giving just a bare minimum majority to the Mahagathbandhan at 122 and the BJP and its allies at 111. So these are the numbers from these various exit polls that have come until now. Like I said, many of them are updating their numbers as we speak, so you'll have other figures that come in over the next few minutes. But today's Chanakya there has given a clear majority to the NDA. At the end of the day, it looks like a very clear neck-and-neck race. Joining us on the program tonight to take us through what these numbers could mean, and also looking back at this hard-fought election campaign and what's at stake. Rana Ayub joins us tonight from Mumbai. Zafar Sareshwala, entrepreneur and supporter of Prime Minister Modi, joins us tonight from Ahmedabad. We have Mr. Sheshadri Chari, strategic affairs analyst as well as member of the BJP here in the studio. Also Mr. KJ Rao, former advisor to the Election Commission of India, on just how bitterly fought this election campaign has been and what the EC can do differently in campaigns going ahead from here. But let me first ask Mr. Chari, when you look at these numbers, Mr. Chari, it's you know, it looks like a pretty close race. What do you think?
No, I think more or less it was a close race even from the beginning. But as the campaign went on, I think the NDA made some gains. So looking at 56.8% voting, which is the highest in any elections held in Bihar so far, I think NDA has an edge. And sometimes what happens is, now of course the other figures are still coming in. So now we are doing constituency wise figures and how the various segments of the constituencies are voted. So I think by tomorrow noon the picture will be very clear. And I won't be surprised if the NDA is able to really catch up and go beyond 130 also.
It's interesting. Have you seen the today's Chanakya poll, 155?
No, I didn't see it, but somebody tweeted and said that they have predicted 155. And if you see the other averages, it's all coming to 120 each.
They're close. It's not a sweeping sweeping either
somebody
way.
has even tweeted that 120 plus 120, so there will be 4 people outside. So the rich and famous are going to increase by 4.
Well, very interesting. Pawan Verma of the JDU joining us tonight as well. Mr. Verma, when you look at now, more of these exit polls coming in, and now today's Chanakya is out as well, famously getting it right in the Lok Sabha polls, and now predicting a clean sweep for the NDA. What's your first reaction?
No, I believe, I respect all polls. Polls are by definition sampling exercises. But I am very confident that the Mahagathbandhan will get something above a 2/3 majority. Most of your polls have shown the Mahagathbandhan ahead. Today's Chanakya has drawn a lot of attention to it because it stands apart. But if you include other polls, and I am not saying all polls are right or all polls are wrong, you will see that the general trend of those who have tried to understand this election is to say that the Mahagathbandhan is heading towards a definitive win, and for very definitive reasons which I am willing to discuss if you have the time.
But as I think as someone also rightly tweeted, there's an exit poll here for everyone to agree with, and perhaps everyone will get some sleep depending on that, on whichever side of the political fence they sit on. But Rana, what do you make of these numbers that are coming at us today? Frankly, to me, it looks like nobody really knows, and it could go any way.
Absolutely. Nindhi, I just tweeted a while ago that the truth lies somewhere between Surjit Bhalla and today's Chanakya. I'm an old-fashioned journalist, and I do not. I would rather wait till the 8th of this month for the numbers. But I think this time around the pollsters seem to be a little confused, also because this was not expected to be a photo finish compared to 2010. This election is happening about, almost 1.5 years after the general elections, after the Modi wave seemed to have been going down quite a bit. There have been various pros and cons, for the BJP as well as the Mahagathbandhan, for the NDA and the Mahagathbandhan. It's a prestige battle for Amit Shah. It can also be seen against the BJP because Amit Shah has been seen by Bihar as an outsider. He might have won, he might have got a massive mandate in Uttar Pradesh during the Lok Sabha elections, but with the remarks by Mohan Bhagwat about the Dalits and the on-the-ground reportage, it still looks like JDU and the Mahagathbandhan have an upper edge over the BJP. It's too early, I think, to believe in today's Chanakya poll and give it a sweeping majority.
Well, I think frankly all of us should just wait for Sunday and relax until then, and not really dwell too much on these numbers, which is why I want to really turn to the nature of this campaign and what's at stake for the parties. And Zafar Sareshwala, the campaign really did begin on this plank of development. Certainly for the BJP, the Prime Minister was talking about Vikas, and that really seemed to be the main focus, at least in the beginning. But then we saw the campaign rapidly deteriorate, and from both sides it became extremely nasty and extremely polarizing as well. What changed, Mr. Sareshwala? What do you think?
No, I think Nidhi, it was only on development. I think even Nitish Kumar and Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi was also talking all the time about electricity, about roads, about, the Bihar package. Well, little bit here and there, that always happens in all the elections. But I think after so many years, in continuation with the last election, that, May 2014, this continuation about bread and butter has been the main thing. And I think the political parties now know that the only thing which will give them vote would be who can give them infrastructure, who can give them jobs, who can give health, who can, take care of the aspiration. So I think bearing here and there little bit, most of the time, this election was only about development.
Well, Rana disagrees with you.
Nitish Kumar and development of Mr. Modi.
Well, Rana disagrees with you.
Mr. Sareshwala, I would disagree with you that the
No,
that the election was fought on the government plank by either the JDU and Mahagathbandhan or the BJP. We have seen infamous comments made by Narendra Modi about the DNA of Nitish Kumar and the DNA of various people. So I don't think there's Amit Shah speaking about celebrations happening in Pakistan. So I don't know what kind of development agenda was the BJP or the NDA talking about vis-a-vis in the election. Same goes for the Mahagathbandhan as well. I think there were communal overtones. There were various aspects. I mean, they had the Sadhvi Prachi. You had making communally polarizing statements. You had a poster with a cow used by the BJP. So I think this entire development myth and that the BJP went in with a development agenda is just a myth. And it's just a facade.
I want to take what you said to Mr. Rao. I just want to take the first comments from Mr. KJ Rao, who's actually made a comment that this has been a very nasty election campaign, and as someone who's advised the Election Commission, Mr. Rao, what did you think of this campaign? Was it about development? Did it become
absolutely
have you
no
seen
development? Not on the basis of development. It was only on the basis of I can if I say तीर मारने वाली बात है. So they are just definitely it is not on the basis of anything. It was only blaming each other, using abusive language and totally violating the model code of conduct. There is no doubt about it. I can just read only a para of the model code of conduct, what it says. Criticism of other parties when made shall be confined to their policies and programs, past record and work. That is the most important thing. They shall refrain from criticism of all aspects of private life not connected with the public activities of the leaders or workers.
So you think everybody violated that?
This is totally violated.
But what
you tell me which party has gone on development basis, whether they have said what they are going to do if they get elected. No party has said
may
that.
I come in?
They were only they were talking about beef, this one, that one, like that. But that is absolutely absurd. I am telling you. I am seeing for the first time in an election in an election like this. No campaign on the basis of the development or what they are going to do.
Very strong words from you, sir. You were in the Election Commission, and Mr. Chari does want to respond, but Mr. Pawan Verma wanted to come in on that. Pawan Verma, was development really talked about in this election? Let's face it, everybody was polarizing. Everybody, got into this slanging match. It started on development and turned into something else.
Absolutely.
Now, Nidhi, I want to make one thing very clear to you. Mr. Narendra Modi came with the slogan of Vikas, but I have rarely seen a campaign degenerate so quickly into name calling and the raising of extraneous issues like what kind of meat you eat, whether a tantric ever met Nitish Kumar, crackers breaking out in Pakistan, and so on and so forth. It was a no-holds-barred game on their side where development, even on development, Nidhi, I just want to take 20 seconds more. Finally, Mr. Narendra Modi came out with Dawai, Padhai, Likhai, I don't know, and Pani Sadak Bijli. It's a direct, mediocre a copy of a very well-prepared program called the Sat Nishchay or the 7-point resolve of Mr. Nitish Kumar, which was adopted by the entire Mahagathbandhan, of which he spoke in all his 220 rallies, day in and day out, that this is my future program with precise budget allocations and time frames for implementation. Every day he spoke. You can check out any speech of his. And also the fact that there was no anti-incumbency against him was because of development, but because of 9 years of being in power, people felt that he has made a difference to their lives and delivered on inclusive growth in a manner unprecedented for Bihar, or in fact for India, for a state like Bihar.
Mr. Chari.
I'm very sorry, in spite of Mr. Rao's extremely great number of years of experience, I don't see any difference from this election and some of the previous elections. Every election is analyzed in this manner. In every election, there are issues where political parties use intemperate languages as a response to the accusations made against them. As Mr. Pawan Verma very rightly started, I may not agree with his ending, but his beginning I would say that both the parties, the credit also goes to Mr. Narendra Modi, the credit also goes to Mr. Nitish Kumar. They both started on the development plank. But the problem for JDU came when JDU promises a corruption-free regime, administration, governance, and then their friend and philosopher guide is Lalu Prasad Yadav. So obviously the BJP has to attack Lalu Prasad Yadav. The moment the attacks on Lalu Prasad started, the Chara Gotala and all this anti-corruption move and other things started, then that is where somehow or the other the JDU's plank also got disturbed.
No, but how did the cow come into the BJP campaign? Yesterday the ads on the eve of polling, you saw the ads in the papers.
Every political party, I am sure Mr. Rao will agree, every political party has enough rights under the Representation of People's Act and other people to caution the voters against certain things that they think are going to vitiate the atmosphere. So every political party can do. JDU could have also done it. So there was nothing.
Chari, you can attack on corruption, but you can't communally
polarize
it.
Mr. Rao wants to intervene.
Please tell me, is it the way the political leaders want to tell the nation, the citizens of India? You talk like that. You tell me the language used by various political parties during the campaigns. Are they deteriorating day by day or not?
See, it is a general subject.
Then
very fact.
Are they going to teach us to behave like them?
See, nobody
no,
can.
I am sorry.
I agree.
The political parties are supposed to be the pillars of the democracy.
Mr.
And if
Rao,
they behave like that, then are they going to teach us to behave like that in the common?
Mr. Rao is talking about all parties.
Yes, all parties, not one party. Please,
political
you tell me. And then what is the weapon the election commission has got?
Mr. Rao, political parties are not supposed to teach. Political parties are not supposed to teach election commission how the election has to be conducted. It is the election commission which is supposed to teach the political parties how elections are to be conducted. And over a period of time, please let me complete. Let me please complete. There are enough guidelines and enough powers in the hands of the election commission, and from time to time the election commission has used all of them to discipline political parties, right from the Prime Minister down to the last worker in a political party. The election commission has done it. Election commission has done it even now, this time in Bihar polls.
No, but are they getting disciplined? You tell me.
See,
they are not getting disciplined. And listen, and the election commission,
it is very sad.
The election commission has been fighting for the electoral reforms.
That's
are the political not different?
I am in favor of electoral reforms. I am in favor of electoral reforms.
No, to act against the.
We need to talk about firstly how much power the EC has to act and what it can do. But Zafar Sareshwala, you also said, when you said this whole, it was about development, was it really? Why did the BJP, for instance, feel the need for, why did Amit Shah have to talk about crackers going off in Pakistan? How did the whole narrative turn to beef? We saw the kind of language also used by the other side. The EC has pulled up Lalu Prasad, Rahul Gandhi and Mahagathbandhan leaders for the kind of language they used. Why before the last phase of polling was the BJP's poll pitch about the cow and about beef? Rather than development, why not take out ads on Bijli Sadak Pani yesterday in the papers in Bihar rather than the cow? How did it become about development then?
I tell you, the political
Mr. Sareshwala.
No, this one. I have no reply for this question.
First of all, Nidhi, let me speak. Nidhi, I am not here as a spokesperson of BJP at all. So I don't know what BJP thinks or what it does. I myself had visited Bihar at least 4 or 5 times for our Talim Ki Taakat programs, and I have seen on the ground that the people there are as aspirational as anybody else, or rather I found people more aspirational. They want jobs, they want to study, they want to, it's all about development. So Mr. Modi came out with that development model, but yes, about Pakistan, now let me complete. I didn't interrupt you. You let me complete, Rana ji. It is it's about development, and the results will show for yourself. The results will show that what is that the voter wants. So it's not very far. In 3 days' time, we'll come to know. And as regards to Pakistan, I don't know, some people have got love for Pakistan. And very soon I think Mr. Nawaz Sharif is going to appoint some of them as their brand ambassadors. So that is apart from that. But yes, as Mr. Chari said, most of the time I have found that political parties and the politicians use such kind of language. It has been happening. But the core thing which will remain always now, from now on, would be only development and the bread and